Welcome back to Flip Culture TV, where this Tuesday talk is about something that we all do as a beginning manager or a member of management or a supervisor. When you're talking to someone in your team and they're telling you, why should I do this? Or I don't feel like it today, or I'm not hearing that mess today. And you find yourself saying, what do you mean? I'm the boss. Do it. I want you to think of an acronym that we're going to go over during this Tuesday talk. And when I first started off with being a manager or a supervisor, I found myself in this exact scenario. And I always told myself I would never say this. And guess what? I said it. Because we get so frustrated, honestly, because of the unknown. We don't know the answer. We don't have an answer for it. We're not frustrated per se that they're not doing it. If you're a true leader, you're frustrated because you don't have the right answer to lead them or guide them to do it. I've never been successful just telling people to do something, but I've been very successful in doing things a certain way myself that guide people to follow suit that are members of my team. So when you find yourself in a situation saying, I'm the boss, I want you to think of these things, if you would, for me. I want you to think of, did I befriend the team member? Was I open-hearted with the team member? Did I share my concern with the team member? And was I sensitive to the team member's feelings or their thoughts? And a lot of times when we think of managers that have room for growth of improvement in this category, every single person on their team will say there's a disconnect there. They don't feel like they're part of a group. And when you look at the big companies and what they're doing and why they're on the cutting edge and why so many people want to go work for them, is everything is team oriented. And the reason why I'm part of who I work for today is because they put those core principles in place. My mom, my father, my family, working in team sports, we've all been taught since I was young, team is important, partnerships, working together, not being alone. And I realized when I worked and when I wanted to join corporate America, I wanted to make sure those same principles were being put in my job day in and day out. I wanted to make sure I was part of servant leadership. I wanted to make sure that people were working together that could get the job done. All levels. It didn't matter who they were. We just were coming to one common ground. And I realized that this is the main hang-up with a lot of people today. They are trying to do exactly this, but they don't know how to get it across. So that acronym that we went over, befriend, open-hearted, share, and sensitive, is what we're going to dive into more in this Tuesday talk. So the first one we're looking at is befriend. Am I telling you as a supervisor that you should be your team members or the person on your team's best friend? Whether you have 5 or 20 people on your team, you're not going to be their best friend. But they should feel a connection with you to where they can go to you if they needed something, or they want to go over something with you, or if they just want to talk about their day. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to someone in my team and said, hey, let me just tell you about my day, or I battled this personally this morning. Every single time I've had a good conversation with someone on my team, it started off with something personal that I was going through. And then it ended up circling back to what the obstacle currently was at work and how we could move forward together and do this as a partnership. So befriending to me, when I say that, means that you have built some type of equity with your teammate. That's the key word, equity. Because when you have equity with someone, then they know that you guys are working together. We talked about negotiations in a previous Tuesday talk, and that's what it was talking about. Building equity, showing your concern. So we're going to look at that a little bit later in a couple more steps. Are you open-hearted? Being open-hearted doesn't mean you tell your deepest, darkest secrets. But when you're open-hearted, you're okay to say, hey, I've been through this too, and guess what? I understand where you're at. I get what's going on right now with you. And when you do that, then guess what? You pull them a little bit closer into you, because now you seem like a teammate. You seem like you've gone through what they're going through and that you've come through it. The reason why we listen to other people speak, and the reason why you follow someone on the field of battle is because they've been in battle before, and guess what? They came out. We're not even worried about them coming out unscathed or unharmed, if you will. We want to see them get beat up and bruised, and what happened and how did they really react? Real time. That's what we talked about in last Tuesday talk with On the Mat. When they got knocked down, what did they do and how did they respond? And how quickly did they respond to what was going on? And the only way they're able to see that is if you're open-hearted with them to let them know how you felt at the same time. So that's what I talk about when I say open-hearted. Being open-hearted to things. If you approach things with an open heart, then automatically you're open-minded, right? Because you're really listening with the inside and the core of you, not judging them based off of what you want to do. Because if you're closed-minded, you already have the answer. You already know what you're going to do, and it already comes across in your body language and your nonverbal clues. So if you're doing that, then guess what? They feel like there's no connection. And if there's no connection, then you can't befriend them, and then you find yourself back saying, what? I'm the boss. And when someone says I'm the boss to me, the way I personally feel is that you never had an answer, and we're doing this for no reason. And that's the key thing that I think we need to pay attention to is it's not that people don't want to follow. We all want leaders. We all want supervisors that know how to point us in the right direction so we can complete the job. That's what we're all here to do. We're all here for the big job. And our piece of the puzzle allows the job to get done. But if you can't explain your piece of the puzzle, then maybe we don't need that piece. So always think of it different. Be open-hearted to things. Have an open heart to those critical situations or those difficult conversations that other people may not want to have. You'll be able to have it because you've already built the equity. You've befriended them. You've said something that they understand. You're open-hearted every time they talk to you. You have an open mind when they approach you. And then you're able to share, right? Because open-hearted and share went hand in hand. You're open to what they're saying to you. You understand it. Now let me share with you what happened to me in this exact scenario or in something similar. How I personally handled the situation. I really want to tell you about it. And when you show the genuineness of that and the sincerity in you sharing, then guess what? Now you have full attention. You have full command of your team. And now you sit up there and say, hey team, this is the way we're moving. And you can be honest with them, right? With you being open-hearted, you're back to being honest. I don't know the full outcome, but I know that if we go in this direction, we're gonna get 75% of the project done. No problem, let's handle it. I love that you don't always have to have the full puzzle together for the pieces to start moving and looking like a picture. That's the whole reason why we put puzzles together, because you can see your accomplishment as you go across. And you're still thinking as you're putting the puzzle together. That's why you have kids put them together now to work on their motor skills, right? Well, guess what? Look at your team as all pieces of a puzzle, and that you need all the pieces together in the same area. Doesn't mean that they'll all get put together at the same time, but as you put the pieces in place, all the other pieces start to see what's going on, and they come together to help build your picture that you want or your desired outcome. And the way you do that is by being sensitive. And I don't mean emotionally crying or anything like that. I mean emotional intelligence, having the proper emotional intelligence, having the presence of mind to understand that each piece of that puzzle is a person. It's not an object, it's not a thing, it's not a robot. They are a person. So you need to be sensitive to how they're feeling that day, what's going on. And when you do that, other people may think of you as weak because you made a decision professionally off of someone's personal situation. But guess what? Now you're building equity. Now you've befriended. Now you look human. And now they're ready to go into battle. If you look at the great generals of before, and the great kings, the great presidents, or even when people are running for office in this point in time, what are they doing? They're reaching out to their core demographic of people, and they're connecting with them. They're building equity at each location that they go and speak to, showing that they're human, showing that I've been trying to get through this time as well, and this is how I fixed it. And now I believe that based off of how I personally handled this, I can handle our country. I can handle our economy. I can handle our military. And when we hear that, we say, you know what? I'm ready to go to battle with them. I'm ready to stand next to them. I'm ready to go. The great coaches do the same thing. So if we see that what we've been doing is the I'm the boss because I told you so situation isn't working, guess what we should do? We should think of something else that we can do differently. And the way that we do that is by just sitting up there thinking of when we're about to say, I'm the boss, have we done these 4 things? Have we befriended, been open-hearted? Have we shared? And have we been sensitive? If you haven't done those 4 things, that's why you're in the position that you put yourself in saying, I'm the boss. So this week, please, don't be like the way I was and say, I'm the boss. Instead, use that approach and see if it works for you in and out this week with your team. Thank you for tuning in to this Tuesday Talk. I hope to see you all soon again on the next one. Please comment, like, share with other people. I want to grow and get better. I want to learn what I can do differently. And the only way I do that is by having people of the village respond back to me and growing my tribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next Tuesday Talk. And of course, it's on Flip Culture TV on YouTube, Snapchat, True Visionary XIV, and El Ray 84. All right? Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.